How to give feedback on the Google Classroom. They've made some interesting changes the last, I would say, 6 months to a year that have really enhanced this feature. So while I would love to show you on the school sample, I don't have any real students in there, so it would be too difficult. It wouldn't actually show you what it would look like. So I'm going to use a previous assignment that Terry set up, quite beautifully I might add. So she had her title, her instructions. She provided the 2 different stories in the PDF form, and then also the template that the students would use to create the response. If you wanted to leave an entire class comment, this is where you would leave it. And then if you wanted to look at student work, this is where you go. So let's look at Presley, our very first student. So a great spot to leave comments to individuals is under the Add Private Comment section. So typically when I grade my essays or these short responses, I'll kind of include my little rubric right here. And then if I need to also, I'll include a private response to that person, like that short little encouragement or that little thing that I think that they should work on. That's the first way. You can also give your score right in the Google Classroom. So that lets you know what score she got, but it allows you to choose it right here in the setting. Another way to give feedback is by clicking on the student work. So it has the student up here. The private comments are over here, so you can leave your private comments. It gives it all on one screen, which I think is great. You can provide your score right there. And then if you need to, you can also give a quick comment by highlighting student work, by then going up to the comment button, which would be, that's your comment bank. So if you have, for example, similar comments that you give each time, you can kind of keep these or use them. I typically don't. I typically write new comments for each thing. So for example, if I wanted to highlight and say, oh, this is a great sentence, I go to the commenting feature, and then I would say comment. Now I'm not going to because I don't want to mess anything up, but this allows you to give student feedback. You can also make suggestions. So if I wanted to say, okay, Presley, you should take out that word, it'll be in suggestions mode, which is a whole nother bag of chips, but it basically allows you to suggest changes that students can then change, accept, or reject. And then the commenting, as mentioned before, just highlights. It's like attaching a sticky note to a student's paper and saying, hey, you should think about this, or you should do this. And the private comments also show up just to that student. And then the great thing is, if you want to get to the very next student, click the right arrow, it pulls up your very next student, and then you have your little comments to your kids, your score, and then you can make any sort of changes that you want. That's commenting on an assignment in a nutshell.